Ani ampre na dadra go faro kwa be fa so besie no ya we ya ka otimu kura no ye hunu ka kura ya otimu omanfo na ni ache yawo amanfo atype mo questions be ba cho oti TV na chi na wo ha utie radio na wo question a obesa ye bisa na dadra go faro ma wo a ha wo kura we enya banta bia eye nkoba twehwe ene ye nua pani o man yo do bu ache ne ye man pani e ba twehwe we si bisanse mami ni obi a bisa bia no eye de nanso eye nkomo no eye soft dia bono boko
eti binia Ali Baba Dan Kambari na motene kano yeguso ya chan the arrival of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo Mayor ena ekoi ma yahwesanki yebenya mayor for a minute na onososo ebechan mampani Nana Addo Dankwa
we dia min tranketi ma hu se Kumase amrado yewran wenyamfo osayesibe anhwe so asia ono ne fans ena na etwago no eti meka se afeni hu se empanyimfo no eyu omuti maako nyame chade ma hu se yakofa Kumase amrado yewran wenyamfo osay asibe anhwe
abusia eti yane mayor ni komo kakra adaje ni ho yenim se oba besia mampani na Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo ntutua ni nyina aja wayewie mayor anyimre ya moajo Kessben from Kessben TV suni
majimoso
na ntutua te say ja Kumase Adum the Central Business District na Obey ntutua te say
oh da me bai no kro ni de mahu no me ho adwire mi because Obey nyina mi ni say office edem ho na oba edem eno oba naija money no ababe interview na the crowd amahu no hand is so overwhelming eti ebeda munyina amasi enemi ni say president will be breaka because I hwe nyuma waye no Asante Memu a eni nyuma waye no Asante region ase dia minim question ambebusa ne ontimi nya no if is airport konfanochi KJT second phase ekwan and as a car get funded here school bebia we could be a get fund waye Prempeh College get fund wo OAS get fund wo Ahmedia get fund wo Asante Man get fund wo na fe or promises sec or Baswa senior high school be free is also free near major problem pa ye OT landfill there be an entokwa between Asokwa any KMA Asokwa ni KMA and the contractor for Waswa omuye decommissioning and re-engineering eti ene de minim said Nana ba obey e na ase nko na ese de ma no
me yo edase ma ene doctor na squad akoso so yentie doctor kakra doctor yentie okakra doctor na squad ko ka bibi kakra kire yen enim se mampani ba nanso health protocols no or say observe ma wo se do me wa say nyina no obi a make sure say or send nose mask e dey asam kakra na also dey so amaye
intimasre Ghana for say yare na abras dan so enkoy enti amamodia na make sure say preventive protocols in the bed so yan share face mask no yan re san fa sam na yan titi mu basa fam yenu na amamodia say ye bebo ye ho bai yare no aba Europe enso say ye na san ba habio e ko form ni enso musa
mate doc ya dase yenim samo chairman Penny Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo mamene mensia assemblyman so any komo kakra honorable media me from small honorables akwaba
my joe so
na edi asem na so kakra edi aso umpenim for there so
media asem ma konya me tia bibia so asem na ye clear sane ye run eno kan no o say ma waduma en kasama ana aduma no so o hwe crowd e ba sane me your kan no ka over interview but na onim sani pa dom we ejina ha say etu sha na aduma akasama no etino ani tie no dia amanfo bebu edu dana yato abado former for Nana former to do more 47/47 so I clear
era say ato aduma assemblyman e tene kan
when you do where you mention right mention assemblyman yawe minu bi enu de ye benya akwanya na ebia yakabibia kire omahene se omahene emisa na Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo mayen na minua mu ejira benkuru ni fan omu benya akwanya na omo bisa na Nana Addo asem a asem be no mbebisa omo na jina so omo no nkomo no se
na ye onwanwa se anaju se edom we jina ha
anya menwanwa kumasi ne ye wo no kumasi ye bibi for dia kumasi ye bibi for dia omo na jina bisa omo pick omo random omo nya akwanya asem ban no mbebisa na Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo
mate mame musa mano odi ni sai
eframi amo
na opede wa hasabre
me na me dra
oti ha na
me pa cho betia putu dia
na opede wa ha
na Akufo-Addo ntira me wa ha ade na Akufo-Addo aya maka na ne asantema no eya me nwanwan se tam me pa cho da me pe bisa ne se tam na Akufo-Addo ska no de year free education no ma hamba pentu se ska na e wa he ska na Akufo-Addo ko to ambo na se ma Ghana fo no se ska na e wa he Sikana na Akufo-Addo de teachers nurse allowance no says kana wa hin ade anti na house atoba na mahama biem na Akufo-Addo ya pamocho onya amendment of parliament na 4 years in Israel na ka men kwara me pesa ke 8 years ade ma na Akufo-Addo fi sa adwuma wa ye no odi javu sa e ma no efie nwotwe odi bu o man no me da Ghana fo nyina ase
me so me da ase ono so ne de no ma me ne ma men to aso eno Kessben FM Kessben TV sunie ya mo akwaba
ya me de
na odi de say
me de agreement sa
na oti ha na
me ba chan me ti Aseda house atiri ya
na anadwi sanko wada na bede wa
anadwi de ya ni agibebre say ya nana eba na ya be hia no kwan obeka sem papa bi atere ye enu nti ne ya be hia ya ni agepa wa ma ya mako school free ya u yare a ukọ free bibia free ti ya de age
mate ba me bra odi de say
ya from abnadoma free education tina me to abama na Nana Addo me to ma obi ba ko bi na ya kumi kura ne ya le ne ba na ya friend corona na ma me light free wa ma mi so free wa ma mi so free ya the light free education ya mi si o mo ko tete mi awadi o
odi de say
your friend Hega me to ade wa aduma me to fufuo me te se ko ban me be sa Nana Addo next day me be sa Nana Addo mo budumpu ade wa ya mame no asu bebre me wudi amenka next day Nana Addo ma ya menko ye oba ba ko sa ne nyina ya free ha papa ne wa buo ye ye sika ko atoye papa na me ye sika ko atoye na laisi wana ka be ya aduma wa ya ma ye wana be ya aduma wa ya ma ye ya no sa ke be ya dai na nya me sawo
odi de say you know
me ba cha me de ka trebedu me te sokwa ban ampa me ye kwan nu kofi jobu aje aboso Nana ba wa chenu amunye kwan ne maye dese ye na subu
Abza for ya guswa ya de pra kwam e de acha mampani na Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ma me ne ma bere we nwi ansa wate abre wa te sai
ayana
na what in fie sai
na nya fie bia watwe
84 years na abre wa 84 years de opede wa ha
na Akufo-Addo ntia me ja say ye
adentia
da fi so aya bia ma me aya bia ma bia o da na aya ma me no minka na no bia ma me pam ka so ya bi ma me a na me diado me mo me na no mo nu wa me nya na wa ya bia ma me e ja me ja da ka me nya na ja na apre wa ka ma da ja me ja na ya bia ma me o na ya bia ma me
mate ato
yaw yemfa akwanyen so na yenka nkire omo a edo na Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ma be hia sabre se yare coronavirus enkoi Nana Addo ka kire se yammoa no ommoa yen se de be yade no amasi sai komu yemfa ne ho do en spread yare no ti ebe sro mo akasa omo se Nana Addo besi fam no na nose mask e hye no etu bia wa bia wo do Nana Addo a na wo do kra e wo se wo suma nose mask ne e ben wo tase yare na ba so ne ye betena che be so mo pa afa na wo ba ha yensi kwa na mum make sure so be peduku bi akatewa no esan se wo say mandatory one sha wo be ba je so de na so mra ebe no anu wasam kapa
ma bani ntiase wonu bi atie ani je ba na ko for refi no smaso
Abzafo Yaguso my na yani amanfo to aso yani amanfo to aso ayo mate bra What did they say?
Mede mama akos.
Na opedewa otia duma.
Metu batimeti stadium sensei.
Na anaju say opedewa ha.
Na do tina mi jina ha. Meba wie access. Wanya free education. But sesem besa wanya free university. Enu tina metia no. Meda fu jina ha no. Me China na do. Far more for nana. Far more to do more.
Abzafonti Yaguso Chain says Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo Ebeba bedru Aseda house say na enkomo akọ bieni komo kakra oba ti say
na me adum me hoye
ene mampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo so oba ene o si busa na sema kade asem na ka ba busa no
asoma me bi sana ne say yen susuda so obeya de fa me ko me mantafo maya mienu wo menya free education communicators wen kanyo no anka me ma no ka bi an comment mi an ko school enti da na sinyame nhira no
ya da se enti maame no so dia no o se eye enei anya free SHS anka ne ba anko eye school enti ono so ne de eno no enti mehwe na mako ye nyina so ye hwasa enei enkoye se bia ye ha traffic no ye ha traffic flow no it was a traffic ni flow eni kwa se ye ha traffic flow no but o se ye ma manfo so hom se ne ye nyina so no ye de prapra kwa mu e de ama hini ye dubo ache woni mampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo enkoma enanwume wo mo ebedie no ne ye ka mo se COVID-19 wo ho social protocols no enya adwuma ye ka mo se eye COVID-19 wo ho social protocols no enya adwuma e wo se ye boama traffic no susu flow e wo se ye boama traffic no flow ya ne mane bi ni nkomo ya ne mane bi eni nkomo ya ne mane bi eni nkomo ai ye ni nkomo kakra ye ni nkomo kakra aha ye ni mate meba mo akasa masa odi ni say
meba cho me de me de Nana Kwame Asare
na opede wa ha
mate say me de share banana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo Ghana mampanyi enam so ene mapo adwuma de a meba be gina na matwen ama mampanyi aba na matie de o mampanyi ba be kan nutina me gina
ituba mampanyi akwa aba
me ba be mana akwa aba kese pa so chance da house
mate ene me twa akwa aba kro na so de manu no
eti se unya mampanyi anka ade asam na be ka kire no
me no mampanyi asam anka me ka kire na ne se se ya use no ma kase ne gukwam a oye na Nyankopon so nhye ne ma no ntimi nya akase bebre nka ho saa na nka me ka kire no
me ne se o mampani tie enti ne waka no mampani ate yanko na express so
mame ne kwa bra enwane bra udin de say
pacham din de Nana usu
na ote he
pacham te kronom
na opede wa adum ha
pacham me ba me nua bi wa adum ha no se
aha oba oni abi ho wa adum ha
pacham
e na ote se mampani ba na o se obede
pacham me se me ba behwe no
oba behwe no
pacham
unhu ne da o
pacham da
what if you say
pacham 14 years
eti ujina class e
pacham form 2
na just JSS2
pacham
junior high school 2 on itu be ko 3
pacham
na wako free SHS
pacham
eti oba behwe mampani
pacham
mate eti we mate meba na mama
Mercy, Trinity House.
Oti Trinity House.
Aye.
Enkwong, Adumaya.
Okay. Na ade asem na ka bebusa man.
Hey, asem wa kan bebisa mampani. Mampani de waya dia obakura mede da for mama no. Mede da for mama. Hey, school fees free, admission free, registration free, ensure free, Kania free, hey, free, for more for Nana.
Eti abuja eno ai we among for dia almost so
anya sam ketwa ewa ha anya sam ketwa ewa ha enum no a omo de se so na wotimu se omo adidi asasa no ha ya hwa ne mu se enche His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana Nana Addo Akufo Addo babedu na one you are man in the morning oman ne ya odubuache ede enkomo no ahia so His Excellency the President and ya hwa ne mu se enche babedu na one oman ne ya odubuache ede enkomo tutu na ahia so eti ya hwa atmosphere no
Abusha 40 way Aseda House. Where the forecourt of Aseda House. And among for Nyasam Kitwakra.
Yo, I'm saying Nana Kaya to a bank of Euro. Over euphoria now.
Yes.
And Nyasam Kitwa.
Also, you are about 69 days to elections. And gradually, who say election fever no?
I say I feel COVID no. I can't pass it. Don't see. I not quite MP. And see me who opportunity be I say and my public no so kwanya. I'm almost the boss so I'm hokakra. And now some Kitwa. I say Corona na kaya se fiache. And I said that in the campaign, sir. Politicians and I said that in the campaign to opportunity and I almost so this showcase of home. Hey, na krati di agro.
Omudiasa. Ato, Yakuso, ya Chinese His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo Addo. Mampeni, one Omahine Yadu Boateng Komanyumbre, Kessben FM, Kessben TV so.
Yaw, ene Jumadie Amama Kai, Ebra na oye candidate Akufo Addo. Oba fidie ya mu. Wane yours truly, Omahine Yadu Boateng ya, ene shia ya, omudi nkomo. Na Sabra ye de pa sana nado eba na oni Kessben fo abekasa obai okoi but na enyina mu sei beza bi bisa say enya covid ni eba na ke rally a e ka yasam kase pa bra I rally this guys
we kra me uza ke ba yasam kase
rally in this guys e serious e man panifo no omo man baby omutu omudu kuaguo omo man say offering to ana odi rough nani na aje papa no oya obare oni sadman e koso pa eti na yenim say da nia e komo no ebe fantasy na mom omo mbo abonti a catch your mind so me say catch your mind so me say o mind why show prep papa bra na show prep
ni nyina wa chero
na bi wakoma so asem no be bisa ma wo in fact o mind will speak your mind today etu de yan say over try ready
and I content disappoint Asantman
will speak our mind
Akweta will speak the heart of Asantman
Akweta will speak our mind
Akweta will speak the heart of Asantman Ozabo anyway Ali Baba dan Kambari kwabna sauna wo your mind hene and na wo host to president they are some like a
lot of questions they didn't kind onwa mampani na juma oya wa Asantman tempa they didn't kind I say Ashanti region over kaya president the ba hamre bi no
and they are benefited papa
yeah, that's the first course. Eti ano eye ekwan ofa so a oye. Ene ne also e won ani mo person e. Afa ya okiti na ye planning for food and jobs. Yo mampani ye. Ena 1-6-1 factory. Ene senior high schools. Double track system mampani AC dormitories ahodo na wayi free ho. Ahun say okọ KSTS a okọ Konongo Dumase okọ other schools a ohu facilities ni bia
senior high schools ni nyina
mampani any hospitals so ni nyina ya nioma questions ni dey bebre na woni ba bia emede pa bia emede so no they buy if you any.
Yes.
Oba half of from first now a candidate.
Candidate Akufo Addo.
And now president.
Oba as president of the Republic of Ghana.
Yeah, 9 years. Sabre say Oba Peniba Hano. Now a candidate.
Yes.
And as I say, Oba as president of the Republic.
Emre Dane. Emre no. Yani amanfo nto aso ni nkomo kakra. Still amanfo di asa. Ma ye ni nkomo kakra. Ye ni nkomo kakra. Aha.
Media ma papia. Na
Nana ya kacha nesta. Ya tiri sorry. Ya mishrano. Onye na kuma so ade ma ne sade o share. Anya na I cannot spot. I can't.
Ya wo ojo. Ya from Boateng. Adum ya from Boateng. What think about the boy? What think about the boy? The whole do. We never buy. I don't know. Akufo Addo here today. Akufo Addo here today. Akufo Addo here today.
Bra. O say we are free SHS product.
Free SHS product. Why should be free?
Who go school?
Yes. You were the Biasi senior school. I'm a proud nations. Free.
Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo here free.
Why should be free? Me did it free. Me have be free me chashe.
Until over to Aba.
Not to Aba.
O register.
My register. Not to Aba.
What did you say?
Me 18.
Me to register.
My register. Not to Aba. Me na bank on more than 8 years. Until that's why.
Masamba kwa American say. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. Wonu na betimi abo o man Ghana. Ye ni obia o man mu obetimi abo o man Ghana. Ma Ghana ni bia nkwa mistake. Ma Ghana ni bia nkwa mistake. Anko to aba, anfa nkoma John Dramani Mahama. What me boy, what ye call doom song for 6 years. Ama ye nyuma nyina gui.
We are product of free SHS.
Then baby last time it's last 4 years with two Anane.
Ziga, yani komo kakra. Mampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo was started 3-day tour of Ashanti region. And day 2. And why is Oba na Kessben FM. Oni Asante ma ba bedin komo. Se who your host and our host to president na. Ade asem na obebusa no. Ade ade na da Asante ma koma so a e ka obeka kire Mampani.
Yeah, first of all, outside Obesra Kotokofiro, and when I kind of break news, say, I tell about what that's Santama Kuma Sopa, I have Boankra Inland Port. Debia Yatin Wasam, started 2005, and on my Panyaka Boankra Inland Port to Wasam. But Debiano, outside, I'm on the phone bar, on my Shabono Moko, and no man and Afrano Kese, and also mine the Quad Eka maybe, or Casa Gobejan Assassin back in the bomb. Ready and Nana Wankasati Mia Kokotokofie, Aquashana Rubase, Ofri Kumasi will return to Kwankraya. They are going to Parliament to approve $30 million. I never babu and cry Lamport, Kotokofie Susuro, and Yadia did draw. Not just a media for me, that wouldn't be a question. That would be like Bonabasu said, why are there? Sir, your parents say, West Plant, almost at the Abaro. I think that they have done well. And one thing that my Penaya, Mr. Subania John say, Kumasi Airport, elevated Amana Babaye, International Airport. That is what we are looking forward to see. And never bad Maniaje. I never come Maniaje to say, Tell me Samuel, and I was 1 year Siamoneta. Everybody is talking about the free senior high school. Nana, the free senior high school has got to the people. Seriously, the free senior high school has got to the people. Who should depend on Dinaro? So, Obi, ABB, and free senior high school. Obipa, and free senior high school. Depend here in I am Koswa Bubu has say, and at what a probably and Kofobia Matissa and Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo ever interview Hano.
Now from Ponziga na Yatene Kano na Adewangwa bi na Siwaha Akokrabia Okura Puma na Odi Asana Mame mani ni asa kakra na eche babra akokra yi ayasemo.
See, that is the power of politics. I'm not saying to me bagwa a woman no. I say or sakura mani refin ho. Until when your friend of mammoth crowd. Usha Abrosai so Ura from Ura Ben coming in the fact. Maybe I will be answered in Payama. At now, Sania Ghana foresee a who you're penny for. Especially somebody like President Akufo Addo, yo. Somebody like President Akufo Addo, yo. At now, said the Ghana foresee don't know. Maybe I'm a penny bedubiano, who the Padova in a church house, I'm a penny indeed. And here now, Onyana Hondena, dear Jumano. Now, Hondena, Mosi Abatuabano, I'm so. President Onya Honde, and he know Nasa Hondeno, Minana baby son.
But it's way, I Cobra Coco Quatain. Yaguso, when you are made a proper come, Adiama, Omaine, Yao, Adubuate, on His Excellency, Nana Akufo Addo, and Como and Yumrei, our Kessben FM, so, and Yasam Ketwa. Mammy, old man, Nicomo, Mammy, old man, Nicomo, Mammy, old man, Nicomo. Mr. Mammy, Martin, Mammy, old man, Olumabra, Nicomo, Olumabra. Now, who didn't say, yeah, I never do. What's Hana? Maybe I do me here, me feel here, me was the house. My young me skid, not what in fear say. Maybe in fear, you see, sister 3 years. Na akokra eja okuta pomade make about now o sanka wo fie na wo woman o pede wa ha wadi asama fi nanado ti maniaje se dia nanado yema ganda fo no maniaje papa se di maniaje se me di me hu kra to fo anije nkwa nanado me pano me fala aka me kwa ni madafo am na tie am so anam free education ti maniaje me mami ansana wa college mu wo mu nyɛ kwa university maniaje pa ni nyina na do dan kwa Akufo Addo na ahwe wo no wa hwe wo mu maniaje
mate aha free education pa me mama enu na yo ma dom wa hwe me mana mame aka bi to me stand wa me mama kwa ase so na da uroma me mama enu awie free education free na tiashe anam na ne modiri bonti ati na do dia o ha ka bi ni ba chachire ba bona boso ti se na wa mra ni ba chachire ada na fa ni chachire wa ya bia mame da ka bi to mi ni access ka so anam ne ho mo bonti na ho mo bro o shop na fo ni anyanka me ma di enu o ma die ati mi di nya mi shira na do wa mra wa ta ma chuwa me so
within the side, a Brahman Bafa Koto, I'm not trying to Brahman Kotoro. I did some overcatch. I will make at Tasamaso, make Tessa and Anaba, man now from Sana Madura. The ambassador with a bomb fire manana, and Namaman and Patinta or the wolf. First, you know, now a child like bird, a Boateng, as the Sunday is not Kanya. Nana Bayano, a track a crab is not Kanya. And to make Aseda, and I hear a brand, Medase, Cobnabra. Yeah, to us, you so chain. Size Excellency, Mamperin and Adudan Akufo Addo Baba Bedros House, they say. Now, over Santamanta Masaya and Trump Kukudam. I walk from Marseille. Oh, Mokasa, man 48. Minya Kwabneja Mateka home. What the power silver FM. And you have a party. You have a party. But why you are I did something like Kaunya. I don't host the president. I can't be some company. Mimusan, my one ambassador. I didn't hear. Let me say, Mimadia, Aka on your Magana. Or you'll be or can't some or yes, or Shapa or Disso. Now, who could draw anyone or Pin or man for Winston? Minia Sabia Mabusano. The American said, Young Kupon Shan.
na dream power dey fu Ghana no if you share na opero Ghana for fancy sa special benefit say do onim to na we ye na ye yi a na ebo abaso dia na ye no sa menko me ye ma kama ka so obi an contest no bi say wa ye adwuma afu adwuma eni pa be so obi man nyina so ka ko body dey wa ye o ti e ko fie ba afi so obi o so memu bi an che water bill light bill what so ya kwan nyina wo ye education wo dey agu akwam e dey bi no man pani onye ti dey make kan say o tu fanya ko ko twede mpo kwa me na o sha no o so man pani that Akufo Addo o mbo no na dey wo ye bia no na me ni kan bi se na ne dey media me ka che wi ase mi da say ya mpa man bi say e hia se contest no wo ye adwuma na so na me sha no
eti yenu akobna jecha maten o Silver FM na yetene kano na anyasam ketwa aha maza what did you say
me ya go got it na ya tro and my play ya I said over the Ghana me go be feel ground from out and then I saw what I the fire out the fire what
Amjafo Kuswa ya chai mampani Nanado Dankwa Akufo Addo arrival ya chai mampani Nanado Dankwa Akufo Addo arrival enyasam ketwa enyasam ketwa wei eye se me hu de we missing kano empani enkokrawa emrewa enkwada obia Way, I had the forecourt of Aseda House. The forecourt of Aseda House. Kessben FM, your forecourt in here. You heard him on. Someone penny, Nanado Dankwa Akufo Addo. Ever through a Aseda House, I say. Na ne interview and I said in common with His Excellency Nanado Dankwa Akufo Addo. Yeah, they are to us. Baba, they could say, Kaya tell for COVID. COVID and the social protocols, no. There was a very good man.
And most of them, no. Almost at the end of it, but almost year to almost what say. And say, come on. I say, when I observe when I come. COVID the brain, and I'll say intimacy and Jamuna, come. Young country at your phone in the next 10-20 minutes. His Excellency the President of the Republic, Boateng Abedu, advanced him no ha. Now we are preparing now and Chapra, our penny, Abedu. Ghana, Eva Penny, Obey, na war Sabi, Saniswa, Obey Diama, and then among Professor Mote, and your man in the morning, or mind you do what it, and Trasena, or no, a bob or Mogaga. There was a high empty stronghold, and just one day, now Usha and never be on my penny for the answer, and we are now, I say African penny different. Because I'm very good at crowding. Of course, all the regions are maybe I'll be a whole crowd in the back. And I had the other message. I told you I need a big monk of Mogaga.
My many Asuma do that Kwaso and Twaso. Asuma do that Kwaso so a mechanic, a seasoned journalist, or Kessben FM video must say, Kessben Media and one of our seasoned reporters or more my report from my Ghana Panagina. Asuma do a young one. I don't know who has say a German penny and you may Asa almost 7:30. I don't know who has say I don't want
yeah, I give me some more because my sister says Nanado Baba interview any public never at the bottom of our house. I give me some I am in one wait say I'm back. Ghana for who said Nanado Najuma Power and I saw money. It's one should be any case, one more for more year, but I am 1 year. Now, me more day out. I gave back one. Miss Rennie Palisa, Momunia Sabia, Nanado Bano, Wabu Bab at the hat. General Dominic Capo, Abano, Amanado, Etimadin Kunim, and Nanatra Sampa, Wamudo, Nanado, any MP Piamano Kono. See, I heard Nanado Nema, why I wouldn't see a school there. Nemitako schools school report and nema wode agu akwam de ma school no butim say akonkan ye pa in fact sana oman abai aba no ye enema pa say de Ghana mampani na na adodan kwa Akufo Addo bai why ye me feel say Ghana ye betimi akoyanim say de ye hwehwe say oman no ekoduru no eti de maka nyina say Ghana kumasefo ye momo yi go omo ya de ba ye
mate eti we ye nua sumadu da kwaso ato amanfo say Nana Addo ebefie amanfo say Nana Addo abefie 3 days and nobody no asante amanfo say Nana Addo abefie eti anyanwa okay me no no Kennedy can come into us me no no Kennedy can come into us Honorable Kessben from Kessben TV today yamoakwaba
ya nua me nua na pomu to say
Erade Adom na so
nyame adom boko pa
crowd e wanwan na
make you be crowd na we radio na moya rally radio na moya rally we dey na rally na moye moya ade papa because me hunu be say that ya na nana kwa Akufo radio station ye hunu say moya bi sada say ma fan kofo abegina mo kasa mo ye yino de amanfo adwo me hunu be da moya ade Kessben I think we are shown the way yankubo jamo pa moya ade
honorable obi si mi say fancy your man here do achi and on Nana Addo tatrata some na be say
Nana Addo sem no me na yesa me boa me yi ano nti me mbisa na sem bia because me ni nya na ya adwuma no dey na me sam ho ko bisa na question dabi yesa me momu no ana questions ni be o wa ya gi bisa because ya dey omani fa ba bia ma me ana me ni nya na me ya adwuma no mra she be dwam e dey boa no e je dey na me be gina ha bisa na question na mom questions ni bi o ho a ye no na ese answer enya question bia ana ese ya ma president answer because some of the questions are presidential questions and some of the questions are for the members of parliament a be for the mayors a be for DCs a be for enkophobia ewo aban a be CEOs adwuma enti me MP a me ye MPP ni me be gina ho say mo be bisa na Akufo Addo question mamia na me boa na me ye adwuma na na say me boa no ema ye say adwuma no enti me de me ne no ana ye be answer questions no
and some be on pressure so for ka
and some person so for nyina ka no say me ni hia me ka kire no
mate
hia na ka kire
Honorable Kennedy can come near Tenekano oye MP for Shia so Honorable Kennedy kwasi can come and Tenekano MP for Shia so and Tenekano ato
yani ya ho keten sa ya smart e wo nsembisa ni anu yie Honorable Kennedy can come there no em se ba wa ba no nim se kwa bia so nsembisa beto fam a ne ho behia se obebo amampani na Addo dankwa Akufo Addo chidom amana yi nsembia no eti ubi what's radio na chi up to this time me have a time no a no so ababa wonsima aduonu wotwe amampani nyamai nanso asrafo asojafo ne aposifo ene ensentrefo protocols awodo ayaka bom ejira akire se bibia no ebesi kwa se na Addo dankwa Akufo Addo woma sensuo to ama nkra frisroba emwa wodo nyina adane kura no a na Addo dankwa Akufo Addo wobeba na eden aso oba Ghana for no a niamu patie no and I know upon man you are very poised for action. The man is very poised. And no, the countenance here different. The countenance here different. In fact, Mame Fanfa Kakra,
Akota has never disappointed us.
Disappointed us so that. David, now him. And who know the way I now the patuntum, the face, AC blanket, not hey. This man is poised for action. When you say and history kwasiapa. Our many including yourself. Eti atiefo sadia papa yi on disappointed that they said and ya rafun so hwame me de so ali bisa say dabi you need try question ya ha. There is nothing like try question be a baby ano I want yes etu the stay tuned koso na tena TV na ho na ma radio so mail say tie bia na Addo dankwa Akufo Addo obalande
Aujanti yenua Ali Baba Dankambari ana Tenekano yeguso wei aya mampani na Addo dankwa Akufo Addo arrival na but me enfantwa mu say mampani ensise mu no nanka achakra no oye sanka ba 6:30 nanka enkomo no eba so but yantetia no say enkomo kakra bi mpanimfo bi abanachi enti also ko na ɔkɔhwɛ wɔn na wasrɛ sɛ badeɛ ɔba ano nti na otu wani a ohun sɛ asogyafoɔ no gu ha emu tenten emu tietia emu kɛseɛ apolisifoɔ no soso emu tenten emu tietia emu kɛseɛ ɔmo hyɛ uniform ɛkyerɛw sɛ mampanin Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo ɛba no matter what ɔse yɛma ne mmeretia wa kakra bi mu ɔbɛba na ɔne yɛn aba bɛdi nkɔmmɔ on disappoint Asanteman ɔnim sɛ Kessben deɛ ɛyɛ Asanteman fie on disappoint Asanteman me nuaba wodin de sɛ
Bacha bɛ Vida
na Vida wote he
beti aduma ya
na onkɔda
Nana Addo ntimi nkɔda da Bejira akɔpɛ mta wɔ bɛba ntimi twɛn nana
adentia
bedɔ Nana Addo because free education ko a wɔde aba na wɔkye sɛ wɔma bɛyɛ sɛ bi hu deɛ meyɛ bedɔ nana me kɔda da akɔpɛ m sɛ Nana Addo bɛba metwɛn nana akɔpɛ m sɛ ɔtɛm bi ɔbɛba bia metwɛn no
mate Vida mate me nua bɛma me ɛtoa so ma me tia sɛ na ɛnya ha ne yɛbɛyɛ campaign abusua wodi de sɛ
yɛfrɛ me Nana Akufo Boateng
na wote
mefiri Abuakwa de maba bɛduru ha
wofiri Abuakwa
tɔn
ɛna wabɛduru ha
menante yɛmɛsa nante akɔ
wo nante firi Abuakwa na ɛbaa ha
ɛna ɛbaa yɛmehyɛ da na meyɛɛ saa deɛ no
adentia
because deɛ Nana yɛ ama Ghana ne so me a megyina me sika mefa nsɛ ne da first service alone no na more than 1.something billion ba Nana ntia na me nsa tumi ayɛ dɛ aka sika ne nyinaa na wɔba Asanteman mu deɛ ɛsɛ me nante na mbɛhyɛ no animonyam yɛ dɛ ɛwɔ ha nti na ma ɔha nnwummerɛ
Mate, enti wei ɛyɛ yɛnua baako a wɔkyerɛ sɛ wɔnam fam firi Abuakwa tɔn ɛna aba bɛdu aduma sɛ yɛ asat ɛyɛ 7:32 according to my time ɛne me watch no ogyina sɛ yɛ wɔkyerɛ mampanin Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo na nea me wɔn ne sɛ nkwalaa nkete wɔ mu nyinaa no ɛwɔ ha sɛ wodin de sɛ Odin de say?
I'm Rich Love.
Rich Love. Na open there wa ha. That's right. Way I had the streets of Adum. Where are the streets of Adum? Mamini Kofi Champoni Komokaka. Mamini Kofi Champoni Komokaka. Mamini Kofi any Komokaka. Mamini Kofi in Komokaka. Kofi Akwaba.
Yeah, that's saying.
Any Kofi Champo. Come where the TV. My friend and friend. I share your friend Kofi of ya. Kofi Eonwa. 7:30 actually. And Kuala and Merewa.
Me a surprise. Maybe I'm Tiabu or 84 years. I'm so Ucheni Casa crime celebrate. I'm saying the scene I cry to two. I said I joined that because the Nana Addo I Mamuno for 20. Original Nana Addo. Obiso for Chronum. Obiso fi Abuakwa any fan of Maba. The test will say, Omar ready to His Excellency the President of Ghana.
And that's una interview President. Eri asemnenka Asanteman aka kyerɛ wanka obebusano.
Wo Asanteman ba mu die na me kwa kofa ewura. Otufo enu Nana Addo kɔ no no. Ɔsa Asante won kae. Na onyuma pa wo ye no. Ɛno mbɛbɛ so ato aba. Nti Nana Addo ba ya na kama busa kwachi ba ko na fe makwa akoda. Sɛ Nana start ka onyuma pa wa ye. Ma Asanteman tie. Na fe no sabani sadia na Asantefo betie di otufo kae no. Na o ma reso ya de so no mo ye. So because Mr. Nana or until into study so kasa
700 and something project were completed. Over
1,800.
And project on initiate to master thing now. And out of 1,800, you know, 700. So no, and you on candy what we are no crime. And some of our call, dear, was on master to when we are here. So now, dear Yakosano, so no, sir. And Johnny,
anyway, and you are Govia Champo. Govia Champo, the Atene brutal bright entry. Two city. Nana Yada was say, Mema was city of Majadodo. Mate, Mammy, chief executive producer, brutal bright entry. Brutal.
Because such a body and they say planting for food. And Boapa and the studios. I go for Baho. Obcasa body abu. Washaka by the Babro. It's Nunia Dia, Mania John and Police. But and then the man say grassroots. Yes. A peja Santimema. Ordinary people are peja. If you say organizers now there, Kessben boy also have one basso. Ya peja pato Santimam, Bibia Coso, Tigaka make another one.
Anyway, I have Papa now or the honor. Brutal bright entry on the Atene Cano. On the variety shows in Nina. Political shows across our Kessben FM, Kessben TV, Papa Wayne Directy. Nina Aseda. I was afraid to search. Mampanina and Akufo Addo. Bianca and Komoki to be Anna Abba Becham and Timampania or Waka Kirby and on your more 18 Como. Now, Oya was say about Piasso or say Asantaman Mojam. Quambiaso or say Asantaman Mojam. That's right. Or say Asantaman Mojam. Many Komokaka. Yeni Komokaka. What did he say? You know Smarks, no? But your friend Suraj. Your friend say? Suraj. Na upre him. Mifi ababo. Na upre dewa. But this is an aba. Na mesumbe shebi. Because ejuma pana na ye no. Baby obi asa otuano. Ejuma pana na ye no. Baby obi asa otuano. Nti na maba. Because mifi zongo yempa moche. Il n'y a pas de government, il n'y a pas de school, il n'y a pas de moitié. Zongo, mon pas moitié. Il n'y a pas de schools. Il n'y a pas de schools. Oh, Zongo, il y a moitié n'est pas. Et il n'y a pas de Oberman and Addo Akaba. No, I can't say mon pas moitié. Il n'y a pas de moitié, il n'y a pas de schools. Il n'y a pas de pas au Zongo. Why? Il n'y a pas de moitié. That's it. Also, Bakaka.
And the million come in the yard. Zongo need here, offer moitié in Yashi. Or so pay school. The man and liberty. And I've fed Janine Saba. And I'm close to them. They say, like, oh, the woman is to come my hair call. Nana, you're two man. No, good word. You don't want to chow. Yeah, I say, yeah. You don't want to chow. You're not far.
I can't say, as I say, I'm full. You're not just watching, man. You're done quite. No, they're quite in a home. But just one. As I see. You're a German. Yes, you're a just one. Say, I just want it. As I say, I don't know what I say. Now, 2020, and German and now. Never quite easy. Your friend Yakubu. Never quite easy. As I want to sit. As I want to sit. Every day, as I want to sit. Major MPP.
As I want to sit. Tieltumutaka. Major MPP. Mugabe.
Mugabe, retire.
Major MPP.
Yes. What do you want? The family of Kusumani, between Fantinu town. Okay. I feel the group here 110, MTE 110. Okay. And I want here, Mimia Kumu, Messama NDC. Afue. I'm also for you now.
Afue. Tieltumutaka. Major MPP. Afue. Whatever. Yeah, voters registration. Share anomalies abem. One voter, the numbers are drop. Yentumutaka. Major MPP. My support MPP since 96. I'm catching up. But what about Boise?
Oboase constituency.
Na ba de na wo kokotu mutaka wa.
Ye ba tu mutaka.
Me tem fandu ntaka me twa wa so ase. Afu e ni na wie. Wani papa no. Ye
ni na say 130.
What I say? MPP, one touch, fast show. I'm going to be in check. Because I sell free SHS, I sell planting for food, I sell one job, one day, I sell. I
Mamene, and my name come on.
Nana do whatever, Pia 2020. Nana whatever, Bianwana, Obianua, Mahamo. Soffono. Aye. Opa be crown kodana na whatever bia.
Mama, just say mama cry akese. Mama bia obia akese. Ye bottom, just say sika we bottom no.
Mama bia no was there.
Fu nya akese. Aye na nanti. So,
Mampani Akufo Addo ama mama nyina akese.
Aye akese, just say hwe mafro. Kwa hwe wo afro. Te wa fu afro aye. You say, why akese papa? Nana, sha obia akese. So, just say, ka be hunu se obia ka like that ko osu. That be 2 million, 5 million. That's a ubio. Bibi anywhere ubio. Papa no akata no. E say ya mano kwan.
Masa, Nana boy, ensuo, what is one my? That be what is one my? Nana so person. What one you talk about no? The better to man ubiem. The person say to man ubiem. The better to man no. Obanya so. Obanya so.
Abuja, ya to aso. Ya to aso aha. Ya kuso atwa say Mampani na Addo Dankwa Akufo Ebedru Aseda house video ma say na one omanhene na omanhene eye enkomo no abaso e Kessben FM ene Kessben TV so men kan say edomo wa say nyina no nyame anim ne eye amanfo nwanwa say eye edomo yi egu eye adum at this time of the night twen say womo ebesia eye Mampani na Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo menua odi di say
e from azuchum
na o ten o pede wa
mi wo boko message na Addo don't na mi wa ha
adentia
na Addo ya dem nwanwaso mo fa se for mienu mi don go free education na Addo free education about free education akwan infrastructure dey egu akwan mi kura mu kwan 16 good years ni from Kumasi to Wasakropon.
Mate. I'm so you're trying the arrival of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo way. Aya enkoma. You're trying Mampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. Aya na arrival. The arrival. Ya chairman Mampani Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. Ne arrival. Ewo aya aduma say na aya enkomo ha. Ewo say one aya omanhene die na abaso. Samson aja we nsem twani adwuma wa ya che enen ye wo say aya onwanwa na
Libya Magameda Asepa na ayam nwanwa yenti America say nwanwa nyina ne say wo hwe ma me a wanya 80 years na wane nam esum we mu na obesho Mampani Akufo Addo no Libya na nwanwa yie pa ewom ese asanteman kire do mo Mampani Akufo Addo de na so de ma me ye na obi te kronom obi wo bo ho obi wo fen so na obesho Mampani a na nwanwa yie pa na da bia say the yesika no say Kessben is of Ayamuakwata and of Ayamuakwata is Kessben nes ya duru kontonti yediem na mampon ye osapaka na say Kwaku Samson many abema onabu ade bro be kan say asante mampon to kofi asekwan eye kwan ada ho ache yie pa enti na Mampani Akufo Addo e ba asante mam oba apro no yesre na say fidie wa kwan so de nenso omonya emane ntimi so kuma wa na watwani ti enti
masom ya ma contract
omo de ma contract
enti na chese oguso
sanetie omo de ma
omo speed up
sanetie
Matias enti we ye enua aya osempaka ni Samson na yetene kano odi ni say
e pa cha fra Michael
na ufri fa na ba
e pa cha kwa una matna ba se si ade am te Kumasi asafo
na adentina wa ha na ji
Nipa cho Nanado nipa oya mampani afri sa me hu no so president da mpanyifo beboa me kra wo se yete sa oman ne mra no oba na ya dwuma pade a wo se yade oman ne show nsa forever etumi pase Nanado yade oman ne show nsa because oya president ya oya dudu nyina president mate etima sam no
mate yada se etiwei aye amanfo nsema womo adishisha ozai
frimazi e kwakwa so ne ye dan aba me frimazi na duru a me kwakwa so no be dan aba
o koyin
me kodu ko akoya adwuma na be dan aba tentina me ba no tentina person be hesa Akufo Addo ba mpa tentina me master amboso ofie me ne na kwakwa so aso still na o se me mla me fa me ba ne mla eti ya me ha Akufo Addo ya me ba no for more na ka o
Akufo Addo ya
me say me time I can just 1 million come ka fie me 6 ones and pim na me ye
100 cities
in 20 man second me school na me ma me wu ye me ma me free bed me nya 6 ones 100 cities by come ka fie so nya me adom bitumi pim ye as see am because am ye madwuma so outi for more na dey man no one pass for enjoy it for more na dey man
Wasle what did he say
for your friend Gideon na ya boa
the friend say Abja, we are Domwa, Egu Aseda House, Egu Adum, na Ebe welcome His Excellency. What did he say?
The friend Gideon na boa.
Na opedewa ha.
Pacho na do who don't na me buy. Me tie boa kwa na do who don't na me buy. E be say yesade mandate ni man no to ase. E man second term. No to ase no ya dwuma pama 4 more to do more for us. Nti ne wa.
Nti o ha se mampani adwuma pa wa ye nti na wa ha.
Pachai.
Mate. Yeda se.
Pacho so me da se. All right.
Yeda se. Nti ya try say mampani Nanado Dankwa Akufo Addo ebe ba bedru Aseda House ase kwabna ya gusu a try
my nan krasa in the next few minutes president bedu ha na o say adeba kwa supporters na ya mani adu o mo say omumre o dabi omumre obi anka o say edikan ka say mampani bedu ha no si ampabu na sania yama yatefo ahwe ene ahwefo na odi dwuma bi na de omumre ejefo no mre kura o hwe a enti yanya manyan graphic security for no say enche o mampani ba bedu nti no you are man in the morning o man you adu boache e wo studio a ono so His Excellency the President na ensempa wo edema asanteman no ono ya bebo nkobo nsa na no okomanhia na eho no odensem pi to dwa ema yewura nso katre no se enuma wa ye no ommo ho da roma Ghana for ente enti na obai eniema no ye bebre ya wo hwese the security for na se wo stand by na menim se enche na wapia ye nyina wa twem nti no ani jana na tifom na omo a me omo hwe ye ni bi message starting ba message starting omo se mo Kessben media ba so omo se mo Kessben media ba so ya ye boy ho ba so ne ba ye da omo so asese omo na ho adaje na omo TV ho radio ho na omo hwe de ekoso no
mate kobna ko aten na yetene kan ko ntiama akwaba
mini amajo so
na ye ohunu wa ha ye onwanwa ye ohunu wa ha ye dom ni asa ene de ye onwanwa
yo mama de ma hunu ha no ana anwumre no anya de ye onwanwa na empanyi se de woye bie no anasa de ofudua pa no ene epia no mino mienu nyina ye nim de aban eba ye woyo ade aboa Ghana for enwu hwempo anasa mo entimi nka hwempo no ansa yo
abzafo ya se mampani nana adoda kwamna ade ne ahui aha
The government is continuously installing and fixing lights on our streets.
Kessben Television, Facebook, WhatsApp, and what have you. Baby D and Kwamwatre Asantemai and Ghana. And it's all sharing all the 16 regions. Kumasi Edum Aseda House. And Yaway Osha Obrana Abo non so pa Sima Edunum Bako Osha or Awo and Potamaha and Omode Energy Beduha. Ebinomode Omo Party Nioma Essa from Ediaba Omampeni. I come assembly of Bible Mo and now no be Yesu Christo. Eko Jerusalem na Odru Hono and Mano de Omuntuma and Omoniama Hodo Essa from Emma Yesu Faso and Nubi and Emma Ayawaha. Anubina Omo Ayawaha, Anubina Omo Yawaha, enter His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, Ebedru Aha, Omo Akatra se Yamposisi Yahuye, Omo Akatra se Yamposisi Yahuye, Emisa Enchakra, Amampani Eba Bedu, Enchakra Mampani Beduha, Yasra Ghana Mai. Esra Asantema Baby Amobi Amore Biano Yane Ghana Mampene William Koku Adodanko Akufo Addo Abudani and Encha Mampene Eba Enchana Mampene Eba who says security fono almost to Omone Makakra who said almost a gra na etresa of Mampene Eba Encha no Mampene Bedu. Now, young cat here for sir, Omampani Baha 2016. And Sana Yabatuabano, His Excellency the President, Eba Efidiamoha, and Asantemane Ghana, Eba Bonkomo, and then so Omampani say Obesra Santemai, and Ghana Maya, na Radio Kakrakai, Kessben Media, na I was Yaneno. Bon comme Kakra. Abani Bacho did say, your friend Kodria SK Sapon. Kodria SK Sapon. Okay, Omabanina Eduhano, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana. Nana Addo Dankwa. Yeah, finally the man is here. The man is here. Finally the man is here. The first gentleman of the land, Abu Dhani, the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Forces. The man is here. Yes. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. Your man is here. His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo.
Long last, the battle has ended. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo is right here in front of me.
His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. Ghana Mampeni, live on Kessben Television, Kessben FM. The Mampeni, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. The Mampeni, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. And Oduhano. Ghana Mampeni, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. And Oduhano. Ghana Mampeni, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo. His Excellency the President, Honorable Osesibe Enchimeyo, Honorable Regional Minister Samo Semensa, and Omo Emma Omampeni Akwaba. His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, live on Kessben Television, Kessben FM. Omampeni Abedu, Mpenifa, Omaka Omampeni Huba Yebi, the Honorable Agric Minister, Dr. Owusu Afriye Akoto, Afraid Honorable Asante Regional Minister, Honorable Simon Osemensa, and Mpenifa, and Omaka Omampeni Hua, Omono Ebedu, His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo, Omampeni Abedu, Entie Jadi Akano Amomahine Studio Ho, na Omahine Atuaso, Ejadi Akano Ewo Amomahine, Yadubuache Ewo Studio Ho, na Omahine Atuaso, Ejadi Akano Ewo Studio Ho, Ama Omahine, na Omahine Atuaso Ewo Studio Ho.
decent fish market spaces for more than 10,000 fish traders. This is a market store complex. It has 48 separate stores patronized by people from communities here and around Asante Mampong. Government is building 81 more others with over 5,200 stores in between them, serving over 10,000 communities across the country. Also, this government has bridged the market access gap by undertaking 131 market complexes like this one here, and is additionally building 237 market stalls and sheds throughout the country. Further to all of that, this government is building 21 abattoirs, fish processing and specialized market facilities to enhance cleanliness and hygiene. Arguably, economies are driven by industry, and industries are a collection of small and big factories.
na ode nansa ana esrani so a wokɔ apro enne ye da toso mienu na oboye nyina no ho ba se emre sem no obeba enne nyame adom obeka yensa mo amo share on Facebook on facebook.com/Kessben FM. Just and tell a friend and tell a brother and tell a citizen say oman panin ewo Kessben kasa video so I and ba twetwe nkomo eno na tell bet ma call youtube.com/Kessben television na monso ma say na amalone for ato yen crash so my crowd mote on a video ho a mo share yen my oman panin akwaba Nana, you want to come?
It's from my head. On my head. One more day.
Kessben traditional area.
And then when I was so. No, one more day. Me also. One small matter, me spelling of my name here me pa HBN down kwanum.
What was the H account?
Sada me who wa. HBN KWA. If you say din there, unipa kono na ni din a, o spell no say a, obia o peso o man respect no.
No there man.
No dear man, no spelling to say a binum of what Dan corner one spelling the QUAAH. So open the sano, no father, and so be there in yes, sir. Where the sun is a beer on for boop up a beer. Okay, sir. Okay. My bahada, Kessben, 16, me baha.
Obe my yako. Yeah, I'm in front of the crazy, you have back with confidence.
Yes.
Time now, quite proud.
Yes.
That time, candidate Akufo Addo.
That is it.
And the old penny.
I don't sound it here. Yeah. Okay.
Well, on a lighter note, I don't know who didn't come over you casting me. You didn't come over have a break. Now say we Bemana who ba pata which now on Hawaii. We are Brabona Cost. I know na a future I would marry
well, I don't know. I wish me a fun area be up and then me come here me what's up. So, Ejuma me if you know the mommy, I can go for to say my bahay 1 whole week. Na me nifi me conswa. And about 9, me free home, me befios and about 10, 11. Ejuma me, yes, be a millennium now. Me ways and means. Now, it will be also be on Tiasia, sir. The way I didn't attend be out the only now, Munya Brema, and also the Casa for France of Bow like quite. Now, me, am I lucky? Obana minutes and on Fassa and I only say. Sanity, and she also times near Ohono. She's happy with that, and I'm very fortified. Means that I don't have too much worries always about what's happening in my house. As long as I am very busy, I'm no anymore. But that's all I was trying to say. Say, Eboa.
Yeah. Now I am sure flagship program. I'm fantastic. Free SHS. Sankawa to nipa of form honoma. It cuts across. Castaning Nana Mammy, free SHS, Mabushi, Amonti, or Nona Betua Baba. But who I now on Tiasi, Nana dear need a transformational agenda behind free SHS.
First of all, education. That's education there from time immemorial. I don't need be quite more. Education is not baby. I'm away. You know education is the abba baby. I am the day. It is a big chance when your education or no or the fact we find also now also so about the SB Nipa. Say the boy be now they teach you Ghana, and I think that what has happened here vindicates the policy. In the last 4 years of the Mahama regime, the statistics of the Ministry of Education was indicating that every year something like 100,000 students could not make the transition from JHS to SHS in Chiminko School. Not because the marks were not there, but because they couldn't pay. So they dropped out. since we came, that 100,000 a year has been recovered. The enrollments in the secondary schools was roughly about 800,000. Now it's 1.2 million. So it has meant that every year, 100,000 now, which was thrown out, if you like, into the public space without further education, are now inside the system, getting an education. And that must have a strong impact. Ghana and Kasanso Eye. Imagine in a few years' time, you're going to, some friend in Yakwakusku are going to come out, IT specialists, say, accountants. Can you imagine the impact on our development and on our labor force? And every effort to have a labor force educated that can deal with issues of the 21st century. It's a very, very important initiative that we should continue it. Yeah, especially when you're dealing with people who like this over the SHS began. We are sure. Because I know the BBA, which is very relevant. SHS, it takes 20 years. Secondly, on pay, M1, Sikase, our and then I said, what's this other or say, I feel the SHS no cry, or the Beko private schools also. Now, how valuable is this kind of promise? If it's a promise to say, and some politicians make, which gives a bad name to politics. You have campaigned seriously against this policy, not just on words, but on paper, on manifesto. It's a poor policy. Just a couple of years ago, if we Ramhama so over 2 billion CDs of only Papa Bio Bichimia and then free SHS. Nene de Naba, I'm out to make us say, so the bar, while you're going to extend it to private school. I get the impression that any genuine, any sincere commitment. Person, I just say free events and national health insurance scheme. One-time premium. Originally, full opposition. People walked out of Parliament. I was there in the Parliament. I was there on the day. I was in Parliament. That time, you were government. No, he was part of those who walked out on that day. Because as far as I'm concerned, NDC, the one National Health Insurance Scheme, wanted them to cry. So they walked out to make their point. Well, this is an open system. You can take it. But subsequently, when you say Akufo Addo, then they came back to say, I feel one day, when they be the one-term premium. So the rest of the life. 8 years. Yenwano. And not just Yenwano, but Ubia and Cafe. I have to say, Bibia, you can't to real more. You can't even hold it. Actual science be better. Yes, and Yantifibium. And one I say, and at the end of the day, hostility to NHIS, it came back in a different form. Chame by 2017, huge debts over the National Health Insurance Scheme. Service providers had large credits with the system, and until they were effectively, or cards. So you remember this in 2015, 2016. So at the end of the day, through inaction or through mismanagement or whatever, the National Health Insurance Scheme came back and cash and carry came through the back door. So the commitment of people, the commitment of political parties, political leaders, and especially to hear their words. What are your beliefs? You began by opposing National Health Insurance Scheme. National Health Insurance Scheme, effectively, you dismantled it. You opposed the free SHS program. Today, you're saying you support it. But I have no doubt, the same thing that you did to NHIS, you're going to do it.
Anything else where flip-flop?
These are these inconsistencies. Ghanaian politics. To have a senior figure in Ghanaian politics, largely because you're just motivated by Bebia and Framano Ebo votes. And then will be who says SHS to Ghana for us, so it's also okay. It's not a good way to do our politics.
It's not a good way to do. How about no more chapa homie to do me and sour Kessben Casa so Yane Ghana Mampani Nana Adudan Akufo Addo to drink come up. Then I am sure the Bako our banking sector. What say from your opponents? Oh, Nanko bet me the 9 billion as Cebu banking. And so of the 23 billion Neguno. Nipa Bebre Sika. Obetia and now we attest to the fact that one of Freya radio so and him walk around up and you woman now say we never see the same in Sakamadi banking sector it be muntiase because Casanako say what be good banks oh can they have
2012 any first timer Bank of Ghana analysis of the banking situation. The Bank of Ghana at that time, with the support of the World Bank, they repeated it in 2015. Analysis about the state of the banks. I want to hear, and the year, In fact, if you remember, at that time, Aseda about 2016, Baumia, my vice president, or Okai Ekaye. So we have to be very careful.
That's 7 key banks,
Begu. This is before we came to power.
Yeah.
Just on the basis of the data that was available. Henti, the situation says 7 banks Begu no there. Yeah, but two here. Okay. And we had to act. We could have done 2 things. One of 2 things. Let the system collapse. Nobia take the 4 words, the dice where it rolls. If your money is being locked up in a bank that has gone insolvent, too bad. Wawasem. We did not take that view. We felt say, especially for me, because regulator, Bank of Ghana, clearly had not done a good job.
Okay.
Yes. If the regulator was performing properly, and I say, I don't know between I can say, well, you take your chance where you put your money.
Yes,
but the regulator was not doing a good job. If the regulator is not doing a good job, how are you going to punish the people who fell victim to bad regulation? But if he said, no, and none of man can say, let's guarantee everybody their deposits. We close up the banks. 5 of the 7 banks have all been amalgamated into Consolidated Bank of Ghana. And Amienu were taken over by Ghana Commercial Bank. So, and the depositors of all of them, all those 4.6 million people are with Sika World Bank. So they got 100% access to all their monies. Not one single deposit was lost. All of them were protected. And then the people in the microfinance and the savings and loans. By now, one is Ubia. I don't believe that there are any more out there. And if there are, it's a very small percentage of well, yeah, it may be insignificant for you and I, but when you pack on it, I significant. Yeah, but I think that the numbers of those who have not been paid by now is almost less than 1%. We've had to do all this. And in the process, cleaning up the system, improving regulation of the banks, all the data that is coming through, banks are performing better now than they've ever performed before. The liquidity is higher, so all the ratios are being met. increased profits of the banking sector. All of these factors are there, showing that we have now a much stronger banking system. For instance, Omani, why we should ask ourselves the question. 25 years now, let me say 25 times, in a cocoa board, I call abroad, I call
syndicated cocoa.
Yeah, borrow money from foreign banks to finance its operations in Ghana. It doesn't occur to any of us in Ghana that why does Cocoa Board have to go outside Ghana to get 1.2 billion, 1.3 billion dollars? Why is it not possible for the banks in Ghana to get together and do the syndication for Cocoa Board? Because bank for the kakra yina opeso kobo busia charges womu commission kitwe bi wa ha kakra. I can imagine say ene se bon kunta awusika kakra yeji was our syndicated loans over the 25 years. You will see that it could come to a very large bank. But we can't do it. The reason why is that the banks in Ghana don't have the financial muscle to be able to do that. Now, not necessarily a dream. How come we are in a country, your product which can be traded international market, Emma banks outside Ghana, because they know that your cocoa has a market, until they're prepared to advance you money to
how much more?
Why are we not able to do it? Because the banks we have in this country, something in the afa. No na ye John said quite bien the between afa and my banks na inya something and only increase in capital ratios, adequacy ratios as a bank here, and only has tighter regulations in the banks of the type of people between directors of the bank, the kind of exposures that the banks themselves can do. Are part of the regulatory framework. Kakra is beginning to strengthen the banking sector in our country. Like everything, BBB Bonnie Bar, or strong, or positive attitude. Which media ABB positive. I know now in our banking system say the bad situation which we inherited. It was a bad situation. Wow, you were saying 7 banks. As far back as 2015, everybody knew in this country that they were in jeopardy. The same 7 banks and now today we're in a stronger position. I think that Ghanaians in the end, that will be so we are in your own time maybe and Akufo come for Bechi and Akufo Behuzamba. The 1 year no Nakasi said Banasa.
Planting for foods and jobs. April 19, 2017, there was Gosu. That time, brown and we got down to mediate. Na 5 models. Now we 2 January, and they ubet me a cassette star Jumedina Udi no Wakuma told him said near was say and Ghana full money no Musaka.
No, I think so. If you say the 2 or 3 big projects which is transparently clear said no obviously the school program, the free SHS. Another clear one is the planting for food and jobs. 2016 first year 200,000 farmers in the BAR program, and now it's over 1 million. I think it's something like 1.2 million farmers are now inside the program. Is that there? You test it on the ground. I don't know what you mean who say. Yes. And now if we have 4 Nankasa, whether they're interested, they're not sure whether program are all and over the course of 3 years, you've got a population of farmers going from 200,000 to 1.2 million. That is what, 6 times? Is that right? Is that my arithmetic? Yeah. It's 6 times the number of farmers who are now in this. And they say people vote with their feet, i.e., the real life is telling you whether or not on the ground. Agroniform. Now, Ekwafono, I embrace this program to this extent. You see, now, who results in terms of food supplies. One of the things that don't mean any planting for food and jobs. That even in the midst of this pandemic, where so many things were being closed down necessarily, food supplies to our markets were maintained. You didn't hear any part of this country people complaining about access to foods. Yes, food prices went up in some cases, especially initially. They've settled down now, but access to foods has been consistently guaranteed through all this. And no crack can be, and I'm a social tension of this disease, Akufo. And to me, Uncle Baby, and can be to me this in summer brain and power. If we had the old agriculture, you never know, riots, food riots, and all of those things would have been possible. But planting for food and jobs has taken us out of it. And you say Agogo, when you go there, the number of trucks that are coming from all over West Africa, coming to take your plantain for export. You remember the time I near Kassan elections, no? Elections, Côte d'Ivoire, and then Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Mali, Niger, Chad. Supply that is the clearest indication. It's a planting for food and jobs. No, I young boys, young people, because if you expand your farms, you don't expand it in the air. You expand it because human beings are helping you work more and more, and at the same time, it's also yield, productivity, farm productivity has also increased considerably. I think that in the case of maize, it's something like 130%. You have 59-60% for rice, soya beans, all of these things. The productivity is also go very high. Planting for food and jobs has been a spectacular success. I will say that today, tomorrow, and the day after. So this is one of the things that some of the people who are working with me are first-class material. I mean, planting for food and jobs. Yeah. This is his life. He was born in a farm. He grew up in a farm. His father was a farmer. When he went to school, that's what he went to study. He went to Legon. That's what he studied, agricultural economics. When it was over, he went to work. He went to do his PhD at Cambridge, agricultural economics. Yes, and when he finished, he got a job with the International Coffee Organization. He rose up to become number 2 person. It is somebody who is very familiar with, yes, agricultural issues. You can't go through this and get to something like the International Coffee Organization be a number 2 person there who named the AC of. And you know, coming to Ghana, working, being close to me, working with me, and then this godsend came. Said, how do you put into practice the things you've been dreaming about all your life? Say, to come to bear. And no, such chance in and then you we have several such people in my government. Boateng in trade and industry, Furata in finance. This is a big investment banker. He's been very, 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 very adept at how to. All this time, this is a man who came to meet an empty treasury coffers, and because of knowledge, because of skill, has been able to wafaha, and been able to finance all the activities that we have done. And that has been the blessing for me, that I've had people of first-class quality in their various areas have been prepared to put their skills, their energy, their spirit into working inside my government to improve things for Ghana.
Okay, Finance Minister Sabine Chima Jusiso. Adia Bakwa going to this campaign. We open and say raise the power. And Nana Ababosia Bebre so you hundi ode 136 billion. Yes, we say the 54 billion. That's what has been going around. Debt stock and borrowing. And so say than Temwana. Na Ghana Esika no 255 billion. Echelese wa Ababosia brosoa unni bibia ode aye.
First of all, I mean, it's obvious what has been done with the money. All of these developments that are taking place across the country, in roads, infrastructure, in schools, across the country. Meaning, there's no part of this country that has not seen some development in one form or the other. It is and not just because who say on the ground a lot has been done with it. And secondly, the issue about the debt, it's never the size, it's your capacity, first of all, to pay back, to invest it in areas that would allow you to pay back, and also the rate of accumulation. The rate of accumulation under my government has been much, much slower than it was before I came into office. The people who were there in office had to run to the IMF because they couldn't control the public finances. We took Ghana out of an IMF program because of better, more efficient management of resources. Deficits, much narrower deficits in the Akufo Addo years than the entire period of the Mahama years. 9 point something it was when he left office in 2016. And before COVID, we have brought it down to 4.7, the fiscal deficit, just to show you about the discipline in the management of the... But financial sector discipline does not mean, therefore, that you cannot find money for additional expenditures and borrow. Take, for instance, this crisis that we came into. If the economy, the Ghanaian economy, had not developed this robust nature, oh goodness, we would have been in so much trouble. Yet we were able to finance free water, finance free electricity, finance food for the vulnerable during the lockdown, and maintain the economy. And today already we're hearing, according to Bank of Ghana, according to foreign agencies who follow these things, our own Bank of Ghana is saying that our economy is recovering at a quicker pace than originally we anticipated. Wow. Even the estimation of the rate of growth of the economy of Ghana has gone up.
I think it's moved from
0 to 2.6 something. But it is because the fundamentals are between 2017 and 2020 are what has allowed for this quicker turnaround, and it's because of the discipline with which we have looked at for value for money in audits. We have now been involved in financing 4 interchanges. There's a 5th coming, 4 interchanges in Ghana in my period. Obeche Bilamte, Tamale, Pokwase, there's a 4th one, and Takrady. 1 in the Mahama era, Kwame Nkrumah interchange, 268 million, that one. The 4 interchanges that have been funded in the Akufo Addo era, 289 million. For a difference of 20 million, 289 and 268. That's 20 million. 20 million. For that difference, we've got 4 critical interchanges as against 1. Yes. Okay. And no, that shows say, when you have discipline, you're insisting on value for money, Sikaka crowd can go much further. Yes. And no see what Ghana say. So for the people who misspent our money and landed us in the clutches of the IMF, this kind of things also, we forget some things. Because of the IMF program, we were forbidden to recruit people into the public sector. Yeah. For what? 3 years? 3 years?
Almost 3 years.
Government of Ghana. To me, Fenipa, in the public sector. Because of mismanagement. We've turned all those things around completely. 90-something thousand nurses have been recruited since I came into office. People were sitting at home, twiddling their thumb, not knowing what future they had, trying to find ways of getting out of the country. 75,000 teachers who were sitting at home had been recruited. Then, of course, the famous NAPCO, 100,000 graduates. All of this because economy was being better managed, and because it's being better managed, resources are ubenya edi ayeniema bebre. No mahi.
Salvage cars. Magazine ye baby asante mantem ha da yakoma super enti ehun komodie ba ya te se omampani dada so ba obetwa nhye ya e akomra se bedwa fia koye se be ya automobile ahodo eba Volkswagen eba Nissan ya te se Sinotrack nomne Toyota mo nyere ba na obetwam no bi mo yem si wo bi mo se no salvage cars no as intercession da koye.
We're getting a new industry. Over the course of the next 5 years, we're going to get a new industry, a new automobile industry. Are any dependent anymore on second-hand cars or salvage cars? And just say, Ghana, one said why should we be a country where salvage cars are an issue? Why? No. There was a time of difficulty. I understand that. It was a time of difficulty. You have to adapt to it and find the best way out. But we're trying to get ourselves into a situation now where we can move forward. In moving forward, we have to find a way of getting everybody to move on board and move forward. But the industry itself, over the course of the next few years, and people are going to have to adapt and do different things. Magazine for who are very capable, very skilled, are now going to have to be working on up-to-date cars. They're going to have to be agents and garages and stuff who are going to now be dealing with cars, maintaining cars which are brand new and keeping them good. All of these, there are going to be changes in the industry. So for you to insist, the industry that we have to maintain it that way. It means you don't want progress. Now, I'm not saying we have to. I'm a firm believer that whatever we're doing, as much as possible, let's keep. We shouldn't leave anybody behind. Okay. But we have to be also ready for change. We have to be ready for adoption. We have to be ready for new technology. We have to be ready for new ideas. It is these things, these new ideas, new technologies, new programs, new things that bring progress to our country and bring more money into the country, which at the end of the day satisfies all of us. Okay. Or your telephones. had Juma and net telephones here. I remember when they first came. I had one of the first. No, it's the same. It was a whole box. And then and yet it's more powerful today than it has ever been. It can do millions of things. That small box. That's progress. And see, no, people in magazine in Abusoka and in Ghana, they don't have anything to worry about. They will find their position in the new industry that is coming, because I know the skill, I know the entrepreneur, I know the drive, how well they work, how strongly they work. And as opportunities come, and more opportunities are going to come, they will adapt to these new opportunities.
I'm a penny free Buankra. Some open so $330 million
concession.
Now, November,
no, when that was misreported. I think yes, I report Parliament are pressing it out.
Okay.
No, it's not a question of actually commissioning, cutting the sword and beginning the work.
There's a parliament and just up to that.
Yes. What are you maybe? Then November, no, you break Korea for long. Eba to allow the sword cutting to begin and work on Bankra to begin. Okay. Major developments. Eba Ghana. Ebabe Buapa, that's Antimaiha is going to have a major impact on the economy of the area and generally on the economy of our country.
Okay, sword cutting and the DV.
What about money?
Yes, all cut his sword now. Ever 12 bentina. One now cut his sword. Sikakra, the cut his sword. One dini. Major opponent and they can patch all kinds.
First of all, this year, Obia Koye reasonable, who said this year there, Obia plans Aseda. Near Manka, Obeso Bay, March, April, June. Went me here because of COVID. It's not me, it's the world. Everything went to a standstill. And see, those things that were scheduled to be done in April, in May, in June, in July, necessarily have had to come towards the latter part of the year. And they are there now. And Akufo Addo election and the Banasa, Sa and Abano. One. Number two, there is not one, and let me say this very clear, Nubianti, there's not one of the sword cuttings that I've done in these last 2 months. Sikano enter. Titembia meka so tia bebia meko meka. How much is the project? The funding, mentioning specifically the banks, the insurance companies, and then on top of it, also always mentioning the contractor who has been agreed upon to do the work. There's not one, and I would dare anybody to come forward. All the sword cutting that is done, each one of them has been, and to some extent, that is also the problem. Because we were determined, so we won't get in this situation. We saw plenty of it in the Mahama era. Sword cuttings, no money, the project is then left abandoned. We will make sure, say, as I say, Bibia 2 years Asana, Boateng. Make sure of the value for money audit. Make sure of the financing. Make sure that the processes for getting the contractor are transparent and correct processes. They take time. If you're going to do it properly, they take time. You can't just do it in 2 or 3 months, say, I'm going to do this, and you get away with it. You have to go through. I mean, right now, hospitals, they say, we say, in July. Up to now, still, because we're going through all the processes. All the processes you have to go through. And sana, what they are doing, if you are Boateng, and no be also senior. Now, so a bien and you watch it. You're here. You're going to have a situation. Watch it. You can't store them. None of them are going to store. Each one of them is starting, and they will continue until the end. There will not be a question. I just say Eurojet. What is Eurojet? I said
projects.
Eurojet projects. Hospitals are Akufo Addo. Tepa, Afari, Sevilla, Gan East, Municipal, Sa hospitals in a huge project. It do the Mills Mahama period. Because funding issues became an issue, and I say, nothing was done. So hospitals in Inaya can was me. Niaba, and ya revive it, and me. Yes, it's been all done in my period. The whole 8 years of the NDC period, it just got stuck. Largely because once again, you get these issues of where are you getting, how is the money being? There's not one single one of the sword cuttings I see. And I say no, me the details in your bro. Now when you acquire, now what can actually amount for? I bring you the details of all the sword cuttings am I here. Me bro, me the bro. Now my Eugene their bro. The project, the value of the project, the contractor, the funding. Each one.
Off near the period duration.
You will have it. You'll have it. Me mamba dada Ghana for me nye nchina me buy. Mamba se me buy dada ubia wo me. I came to try and see say kakra me so wo me ho no. Which me dey beboa. Ma ya try. Se ne ma sem hia pa. Se ko vo be hu se me ba se me ba be kan no kra a show my no. Na bibia me yan so se me kan se me be ya me sheboa me tiso. Sani titru na me pesa asante for Ghana for a Jimmy Tum se me ubia o kano kre pinka se from so ni me ho oni nipa baako ni e ba wi ase ya se seven from so ni ho Yesu Kristo ke nyina from so we men ka se from so ni me ho na so no ade baako a emi me ho ene se me dia tro. It's big me sorry, actually, a Ghana for. Me would do a Ghana for. Say, me sorry, Marcus and me baby, yes, say, meaning saying to me, yet. And once I make na temporary advantage be about Mafa. Never, I'll never do it. And then no, I'm a person Ghana for. I think so over these 3.5 years, getting to 4 years, when you say, I'm pa, when you pitch me, I'm doing GDA Ashemimu. Na inina akabum dia ho deni adwani sunsun akabum me pio man so ma na koni kana ibetumi aye nema bebre be boy. If we have the right attitude, I'm very 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 persuaded say I have what it takes to help get this country moving. And utina me that so I pray no o man me mom na say me do ase. Thank you
say onya bre na utimba me nim say samre was en ka ojiwa home na echina wasa to aprobo so me gina me papa Kwabra Kessben anemu na bada was say umre isase kra no onya bahan kuma seman so da wase say watwa wani abehwe ha na enema wo ye ade ba kwa eni angine se enche bia yen so betimi afa back na yakọ Kumasi airport na yen konkan ya sana yakama no ne
enche no baba na kwa no zina ya na se wo ka
kama pa papa we ha no pa Kumasi wa pa ono dia dance se kwa ade ba ku pa ye creative art me jiri se mo ye school bi okwada so Kumasi for hwe di mu se benya na theater enti no so ya na wa mo ni
aka second term agenda no pa ka hopa all right Mrs. Medase na Ira Kwabra Kessben so na wachiara ma madam for no it's me that as far so okay thank you
for ya the media de besiha na na for na ball no mo chamba on meet dia 90 ejeri say me peja bona patakasi so abeto aso ya dane e wala